Yep, it's January. What is up, everybody, and welcome to my first official review of the new year 2024. And as to be expected, we've got a horror movie. Little film about a haunted swimming pool called Night Swim. I believe this was produced by James Wan. It was released by Blumhouse. If you've been to the theaters anytime over the last 2 months, you've likely seen this trailer about 376 times. You know, the one that just shows the one scene in the middle of the film where they're doing Marco Polo and the creepy voice and then Night Swim. Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to see this fucking trailer anymore. That's a positive.
Please stop it. Stop it now. Turn it off. Turn it off. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
So look, it's no secret. January and February are the dumping ground when it comes to a movie release schedule. That's where they put the movies they have the least amount of faith in. Once in a while, you'll get a surprise. Once in a while, you'll get an exception. I didn't love the movie, but last year's Blumhouse release in January, Megan, turned out to be a big hit. So I held on to a little bit of faith that maybe there was going to be something interesting here, while at the same time, not necessarily being all that interested in it. And unfortunately, this is a classic January horror film. Very generic, very forgettable, not really worth your time or money. Starting off with the positives, you got a small cast here, but I did think that Carrie Condon did a pretty good job at trying to elevate what they give her. They don't give her too much, but she's a very good actress. We just saw her get Oscar nominated, I believe, just a couple of years ago for Banshees of Inisherin. I, of course, know her more from Better Call Saul. She's the mother of this family. She's the one that starts to suspect things. She's the one that starts to go on the investigation and goes down the rabbit trail and trying to figure out what exactly is going on in her backyard and how to save her family. And again, while they don't really give her much to do to elevate that very basic setup as the protagonist, I still liked her character. I liked what she was doing. I was endeared to her. The movie does achieve moments of creepiness and moments of tension. I don't know how much of that is just how effective they shot certain things, and how much of that is just my fear as a parent of kids drowning in a pool. I can barely even enjoy myself whenever we go somewhere and swim because I feel like I gotta keep eyes on all three of my kids. So there's the moments where a kid is put in peril and you can tell that something's about to happen underwater. I started to get a little bit tense. So credit where credit is due. You made me feel tense. Beyond that, I didn't care for this movie whatsoever. The first-time filmmaker, first-time writer, so I don't want to come down too hard on the filmmaker here, but when I'm watching a movie and all throughout it, I keep having the same thought of, I could probably make this. That's not a very good thing. I mean, that in and of itself means that it's just a very basic production, very generic level. There's not a whole lot of standout work being done here. And Blumhouse is one of those companies that's very good about finding these first-time filmmakers and giving them a very low budget, letting them kind of get their feet wet, no pun intended, and have a movie that's inevitably probably going to make a pretty good-sized profit. But I wanted more. There's nothing about the way that this movie was directed or shot or crafted that gets me interested in this person. It gets me interested in this name and makes me go, oh, okay, well, movie didn't work, but I got my eyes on you. It's just very simple. And it doesn't help that the overall concept of the movie and the thing that it's going for feels extremely derivative of things that we have already seen. It's essentially Amityville horror, only instead of the house being haunted, it's the fucking swimming pool. And when you have sequences that are inside of this pool and they're starting to, again, no pun intended, dive into the world here, the supernatural side of this movie, and starting to have those scenes where they can kind of be a little more visually creative, essentially, they just rip off The Sunken Place from Get Out. And though I have not seen this movie, so I can't personally endorse this, I saw a number of people on Twitter saying that this was a ripoff of The Ring 2. So nothing original happening here. While Carrie Condon does a decent enough job with what they give her, I wasn't really impressed with anybody else here. I really like Wyatt Russell. At least I want to really like him. I think that he has moments of his dad's charm and his dad's charisma. I really liked him in Overlord. I am somewhat toying with the notion of watching the Monarch TV show to see how they play off of each other and play the same character. But here, I just didn't really feel much out of him. He just feels like he's just kind of going through the motions. Again, they don't give him much, so I don't completely blame him. But when you have somebody on there that I know has charisma, I expect that charisma to come out every once in a while. And his character was just very bland. And even the two kids, they barely get anything to do. The one kid immediately gets scared of the pool and he just looks scared of the pool the rest of the movie. The other girl, the older sister, is just the typical, stereotypical older sister where she threatens the little brother. I'm going to do the things that mom and dad said not to do. Don't you fucking say anything. And that's all she gets to do. And so all around, the characters of the movie, even though it's a very small, compact cast, just did nothing for me. And to take that even further, when you get to the third act of the film and big things start to happen, people are really put in danger, there is impending death, situations where people should be at their heightened emotional state. You didn't get any of that from really any of these characters or any of these actors. Like, there's things going on that should be devastating to a family. It should be just horrific for a family, and it never really felt like they reacted much off of it, which was also very odd. Look, at the end of the day, is this like an insulting movie that's just like pisses me off that it exists? No, it's fairly harmless. It's a movie that you pretty much know what you're getting when you walk into it. There's some people that this movie is made for, that the very simple experience that they are going for here is going to be enough for them. But this is after a year of so many mediocre, disappointing, boring, just lifeless movies that I don't have the patience for these movies anymore, and I'm probably going to be a lot harder on them in 2024. So all in all, if you're really interested in this, or if this is your type of movie and you know this is probably going to entertain you, then I would at least suggest waiting for it to come out on Peacock or whatever streaming service it's going to end up going out on. It's not worth going out to the theater. It's not worth dumping money. It's not worth taking a date to or anything like that. It's a January horror film. Well, that's it for this one, guys. If you enjoyed that, please click over here for my top 10 worst films of last year and up here for my top 10 best films of last year. Please like, share, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss all of the madness coming down the pipe in 2024. And as always, remember, opinions are like assholes, but that doesn't mean you have to be.